So this is our Bocas del Toro Panama deep dive. I've brought on a couple of our best and brightest members who have all done the chapter before to join me today to talk a little bit about this incredible destination. It is definitely one of my all-time favorites. I would say safely in my top 2, honestly. I have done the chapter twice, once as a member, once as a host, and I did a Costa Rica chapter and I insisted we go to Bocas on a weekend trip. So that was my 3rd trip there. No regrets. It was incredible. And everyone loved it, I think. Honestly, I like it better than Costa Rica, so totally worth it. So that's a little bit about my experience with Bocas. So I'll just let our other members take a quick turn. If you guys could just share your name, how long you've been in the tribe, how many chapters you've done, and just let us know when you went to Bocas. Monet, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'm Monet. I've been in the tribe for, I think, 5 years now. And then I've been to Bocas twice. I went in 2022, and when it was a co-live. It was like the pilot co-live. They didn't even call it a co-live. And then I did it last year in 2025.
Awesome. Andrea, what about you?
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrea. I'm now part officially of the furniture of Wi-Fi tribe because I've been here for too long. Not sure how many chapters I've done by this point.
The history is too long.
Yeah, it's like I lost count. But yeah, I was in Bocas, was 2022, right? It was the co-live and it was the pilot, so it was a little bit of uncharted territory. But yeah, we had a blast. I would definitely go back. That's the thing. It's like, it's not in the plans, but it's one of those chapters where I would definitely. I'm like a beach boy guy. Like I love the beach, and Bocas is amazing. So yeah,
I love it. By the end of this call, we'll all be agreeing to go back together. Yeah. That is really my goal here and bring you. Yes.
Let's go.
Steven, what about you?
Sweet. Chapter count, I think it's around 10, and I've been part of the tribe for probably almost 4 years now. But yeah,
are these veterans?
Bocas was incredible. I've done most of my chapters actually have been in Latin America, and this one was not an exception, but it probably is the one with the most beautiful beaches for sure.
Love it. Let's get started with some questions. I'll just walk us through some basics, but if you guys have any thoughts or any stories come to mind, feel free to jump in. This is definitely really just kind of to reminisce and give people an idea of really what to expect there, and so any tribe stories are really the best for sort of piecing that image together for people. All right, so first one, I'd love to just talk about what were your first impressions when you arrived there. I don't always ask this, but I feel like this is kind of a unique one. It's also my very, very first chapter, so I feel like it was like kind of intense, but I feel like it's kind of a unique place.
So when you land at the airport, 2 very exciting things happen. Number one, they lay your luggage out on a sidewalk and bring a dog around to sniff it, and then you go out back where the dog was and you pick up your luggage from the sidewalk. And there's a man, and it was happened in 2022 and 2025. There's a man there singing "Don't Worry, Be Happy" with a guitar in the luggage area, just like chilling, and he's like so smiley. I can't guarantee he will be there when you land, but that is literally Bocas. Like, it's not luxury, but it's just like so charming, and it's so welcoming, and it's so beachy.
Yeah. It's funny that you pick up on the airport and when you land, because also like even when you land, it's literally like this strip of tarmac in the middle of like field. So the moment that you land, you know that you're up for adventure. That's the thing, and that's my favorite kind of chapters where, you know, you are in nature, you just go around like flip-flops all the day, shorts, and the water is literally at your doorstep, super easygoing, is nothing like posh or anything like that. It's just like you go with the flow. It sometimes can be a little bit rough on the edges. If you're up for that kind of experience, like Bocas is literally one of those that I love them.
Yeah, you're always in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
You have to be, because you never know when you're going to have a chance to swim, or you're just going to be like, okay, I need to be in the water. I would either be in a suit or like have a suit in my bag with me. I realized like that was like my main thing, is like be ready for water.
Exactly. You go out for like coworking, and then you take a bike and 2 seconds.
You're swimming at the co-working places.
Oh my god,
yeah.
yes. The co-working, you have to get on a boat to go to the co-working if you want to. It's like there's like the islands where you go. If you love the water, beaches and that kind of environment is fantastic.
Yeah, one of my mottos is always be prepared for a suit situation, meaning a bathing suit situation, and this is the perfect chapter for that. I mean, talking about first impressions when you arrive, you just see this beautiful blue water out the window from the plane, and that got me super excited right away.
Yeah,
I agree. I remember that too, because it was one of the smallest plane I'd ever been on, so I was like nervous but excited, and it felt so much more adventurous because it was a tiny plane. Like seeing the propellers really freaked me out, but then you're coming in and you just see like the insane blues and greens of the water, and yeah, it just like gets you so hyped. And yeah, the tiniest airport I've still probably ever been in, and like the quirkiest. The dogs actually like found something in my bag, and I was like pulled over by the dog cops. Yeah, it was nothing. They literally like searched my bag. I had nothing. They realized the dog just made a mistake. I don't know. It was so weird. But I did hear like this, I think the guy's name who sings is Joe perhaps, but he's like an institution. Like the whole community loves him. Like he is just like really a part of Bocas. He's like the heart and soul. So that is very cute. I hope he's still singing there. I know there's like a bit of controversy, like maybe they're going to have him stop. But yeah, I feel like it just like is the kind of welcoming vibe that you feel right away and you continue to feel. It's just like such a friendly, happy place and just like a water heaven. That's like the main thing I think of is like so many different types. Like you can just be in warm water every single day as much as you want. Do water activities. Every day revolves around the water in some way. And that's why it's my favorite. All right, let's talk about work. Yeah, where did you guys normally work from? Is obviously the coolest thing ever. I guess what was that like for you guys? Did you have any favorite co-work spots, any cafes? What did your work life look like?
Was it Red Frog Island, the one that had the...
Yeah, we were on Red Frog. I don't know if that is still there. We were working at the Selena, but it was under construction when we were there in 2025. But there's places to work along there. That was beautiful. Like, I really hope they reopen that because it was the most incredible, like, right in the jungle. And they had a great, like, Wi-Fi setup and cafe and everything.
Yeah, it's like, Selena was definitely one place. And then, like, there were a bunch of restaurants with the docks just, like, facing the water that you could work from there. There were a bunch of little cafes downtown, like, in the middle of town. And then... the beautiful thing was like you were working there and then you would just cross the island and on the other side of that island there was the most beautiful beach with no one there. So you could literally work and then take a break, do a 5 minutes walk and just go for a dip in the bluest water, most crystal clear water I ever seen in my life. So that was definitely my favorite spot.
Yeah. I think it's one of the chapters, like, I worked a little bit. I took meetings probably from the accommodation. We had 2 accommodations on our 2025 chapter, and one of them was the water house. I think they're reusing that one. I loved working on the deck of the water house. That was gorgeous. Like, there were all sorts of, like, desks and things. It was so lovely. But definitely it's one of my favorite for cafe working. There was one cafe we went to and it like, most of them actually will have like these long docks and it had like this wooden like platform that you could jump off of. So you'd like work, get your smoothie bowl, like go swim. And it had like tires and stuff and like you can floaties. And so we'd like hang out in the water for like a few minutes, take a break and then like go back to work. It was really great.
It felt very adventurous, right? You could take your pick. There were some that were closer, so you could either work at the water house, which was nice, and surprisingly good Wi-Fi actually. For me, if I'm feeling a little lazier, you could just go right into town. And it's actually been built up a lot. So from my first chapter in 2021 to last year, 2025, there were way better cafes, I would say actually, and more places with Wi-Fi. And more places with reliable power. So it's actually improved significantly, I would say. There was one place in particular, I think it was Bocas Paradise Hotel. And it's a little bougie, honestly. And it was just heaven. And it was like inside, you're like right on the water, but it was like air conditioned, great food, drinks, like coffee. Great place, great Wi-Fi. I feel like I went there probably more than anywhere else. It was just like great to like cool off as well. And a couple other places in town, but yeah, the more interesting places were a little outside of town. You could either bike, scooter, or take an actual old school cab as well and go a little up the coast and all these cool places right on the beach or right on the water. That's what you want to do. Like it's so rare you can just work from on top of the water basically every single day.
Beach bars. Along that one road, it's just beach bar after beach bar after beach. That's actually built up quite a bit from 2022. There's more than there used to be.
I was wondering like how it changed a little bit from 2022.
Yeah. It's not like overdone or anything, but there's
Nah.
definitely more
Okay,
options.
that's good actually.
It still feels very like calm and still underdeveloped in so many ways, right? But still better, and definitely better for remote work, I would say. There's just maybe a little more options. But yeah, the hostels and some of the hotels around in the water, different members would just be like, oh, I tried this one today and it's perfect. Then everyone would start going there on a random day. So I feel like that's definitely the cutest vibe for sure.
Yeah, I worked from the accommodation quite a bit, but I also went down, I think, to, it might have been owned by Selena as well, the one on the island. But they had pretty solid Wi-Fi there as well and a generator. So there were a couple of days without power, and that came.
Yes.
Still happens.
That definitely still happens, yeah.
But there are a couple places. One is La Tortuga, which was not far from the Waterhouse, actually, especially if you have a bike, which maybe we talk about, like, both my chapters, most people rented a bike, it was pretty affordable for the month, and it's great to be able to put around the island. But we would just run over to a couple of the places that had generators, and La Tortuga, every time I've been there, is completely empty with, like, perfect Wi-Fi. So
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's not really a remote worker, like, super well known for that. It is kind of more of a vacation place, I think. So it's actually easy in some ways. And then they have all these spaces that are really underutilized for like working. But yeah, I will say, note on that for logistics, it was super helpful. There's like this Instagram account that basically gives you a heads up whenever the power was going to go out. So you would often have a heads up. I've literally joined it in 2021 and I'm still in this WhatsApp group. They're really, really helpful. And on the chapter, they'd like give us an alert. And then it took us a couple of weeks and then we really figured out the best places with backup generators. And then people would just be like, cool, I'm going to hit the bike. I'll be there. And it was like this luxurious day of like, it seemed like a resort almost. We'd be working from this cool spot and also dealing with no power at home. So, all right. What else did you guys get up to during the week?
I'll give a shout out to Simol for running, I believe, a weekly yoga session for us. I think you said the tribe was probably going to return to the boathouse, which was a really great spot for our group to do some Tribal Tuesday things. But also, there's this beautiful little patio area right on the water. And it was just so serene at night for our yoga sessions.
Yeah. I love just riding around the island because when you get past a certain point, you can kind of like ride sort of next to the beach for a really long way. That's beautiful. And then surfing. In 2022, I didn't know how to surf, but in 2025, I did, and I went so often, and it's so cool. The surf setup is super cool. You get in a boat taxi, and then the boat taxi just, like, drops you off at the line, basically, at the break, yeah. And then you surf for forever, and you arrange with him to come pick you up, and it's so cool. And the surfing is really, really good, and there's, like, lots of places to rent, and it's pretty affordable, too. Way more than, like, I don't know, like a US or an Australia or anything. Like, it's super affordable and so much fun.
And
I loved it. I made a lot of friends out there, actually, on the break.
And also, like, for people that love scuba diving, there are definitely good, like, opportunities for that. There are, like, night dives that you can do. There's like, was it like an airplane or something that crashed
It's an airplane.
into the water? So you can actually do a night dive going down and see this like airplane that crashed a few years ago. And yeah, definitely like surfing. It's a very active in general. I feel like because you're close to a beach, it's very easy to find water sports that you can do at any time. Whatever, if you like to do something in the water, whatever is like diving, surfing, you have so many options. And then if you want to rent like, even like renting the electric bike, I remember going with Ryan one day. We got like an electric bike and we just like roamed around the island, and like it was so fun. And we found like a few spots that were kind of a little bit hidden. Yeah, it's like definitely like it's a very active chapter if you want to be active.
There's a lot of exploring you can do to like go find like hidden beaches and little coves and that kind of thing. Or just like taking boat taxis to the other islands because it's a whole archipelago. So just, such an exploring one.
So there's a surprising amount. Like you think it's a tiny little island, and it is technically, but it's actually like when you're exploring by bike or whatever, like there's so many spots. I think like there's still places I've never been just because it was like I'd stay closer to the main town, and we are in like the most convenient part of the main town, but the islands are obviously like even more magical. So yeah, like the hidden beaches and stuff like that are worth taking a little more time to sort of explore. Other big one that we did during the week was the bioluminescent like plankton viewing. I would say like because it's cool that that is an easy weeknight activity. Best done, I think, in the new moon, right when there's like no light. But that was I did it diving. I did like a night dive my first chapter, which was cool. And then I think the entire chapter last year got to do it together. We just did the snorkeling version.
I saw an octopus. It was so cool. We saw so much.
That was.
And do you remember? We were like hitting the water and stuff to make it sparkle, and it was gonna
It was like even better than that was a great group activity and just like straight up magic. I don't know how many people have already seen that in their lives, but if you haven't, like it's an absolute must. That was so incredibly remarkable. Like I feel like it made me emotional. I was like, this is so cool and so beautiful and just like really fun to be able to like do that on a random weeknight. So
yeah,
I think our group, we did like a snorkel group that night, but some of us also did a dive. So it's cool that it's kind of available to both.
Yeah.
You can see it and experience it just as well as snorkeling. I think one other thing I was going to mention with the scuba diving is I think last year a bunch of our group ended up like partnering with one of the local dive shops to do like a local cleanup too while diving, which is a very unique way to kind of also give back to the community while you're there. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
that was incredible. I think like 7 or 8 of you did that maybe. That was super cool. Yeah, they have like a lot of initiatives like that. I love it. But yeah.
The food is really good in Bocas. I don't know why. I don't know how to describe the cuisine, but I love all the food I get there. Like, there's tons of fresh stuff, like smoothies and acai bowls, and like there's an Italian sandwich place that's really good. There's more of like a Colombian sandwich place that's really good. There's like lots of the like rice and meat, and you can find such a good variety.
The empanadas.
Yes, the empanadas! It's really weirdly good, which you wouldn't expect for a tiny island, but like there's good stuff. And then there's a couple of like, I don't know if you'd call them fine dining, but like fancier restaurants in the forest with the s'mores was pretty cool.
That was incredible. Wow, that was like stunning and also in the jungle. So you had this just like beautiful outdoor but like really well decorated high quality meal.
I actually think we went to that one, Andrea.
I think you guys did.
Yeah, it was maybe for someone's last night there, or maybe it was our very last night of chapter. But there's cute pictures of us at that.
The food is surprising me. Like I wasn't sure if it was just me, honestly, because I love it. I'm pretty easy to please. But yeah, I think I'm so into smoothies and like fruit, and I think that is just a really great thing there. And also just like you're hot, so smoothies taste way better in like a sort of hot climate.
So good.
What about health and fitness? Did anyone go to the gym? How did you guys stay active on your chapters?
I did not go to the gym, but I would say it's one of my most active chapters because you're like just biking all over the island and walking all over the island and surfing every day. So it's just naturally like being out in nature, being very active. I know a lot of people went like running. It's a little hot for that, in my opinion, but it would be hot. It would be, any temperature would be bad for me to run in. But there is a gym. People were going to a gym, right?
People were. I don't know how many. I remember Adele was.
Yeah.
On our chapter. That's why I remember, because she was like a gym person, and I remember like her making a point to go. But I think, yes, generally I find that you're so active in this month. There's so many different activities, especially water stuff, biking, that people are usually busy doing that, even though there were like at least a couple gyms in the main town, I think.
Yeah, being active is basically embedded in this chapter. So there's definitely a ton of options to do activities and be on the move all the time. I feel like you don't really need a gym when you are in Bocas, because as like Monet said as well, like you bike everywhere, you walk everywhere. There's always like opportunities to stay active. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't join a gym. I definitely went on a few runs. It's very hot, but I like to sweat when I run, so it was perfect for that.
Yeah.
One of the other activities that I really enjoyed doing is part of our group ended up doing some spearfishing. And yeah, that was super cool. So another very active thing. You also need to do a little breath hold training for that.
Yeah. Ooh.
But
didn't another group end up going sailing after chapter, like on Gap Week?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or a sailing class, I think.
Yeah, they went sailing. It's just such cool, like, it made me think, because I was like, spearfishing is so cool, and sailing is so cool, and to, like, have a chance to do all of these activities, it's crazy.
The spearfishing was, like, a whole day, too, right? Weren't you guys, like, out all day and, like, caught your own fish and, like, cooked it up or something?
Wow.
Yeah, talk about eating fresh fish, a little healthier than the Crunch Wrap, probably. But yeah, we caught fish, and then one of the local guys that had come with us, he ended up cooking the fish for us right on the beach.
Nice.
And it was incredibly fresh, delicious. Definitely recommend it.
If you actually look at what that is, like, it's not easy. It's not like regular fishing. It's like pretty hardcore.
It is.
Can we talk about the opposite of health and fitness now?
Yes, I was gonna ask. Well, yes, my next question was gonna be, what about nightlife?
So the coolest thing about Bocas is Filthy Friday, which is a party that happens usually on Fridays, but I've also done it on a Sunday. And it's a party that takes place on 3 different islands, which is so cool. So you start on like in Bocas town, and then you take a boat taxi to an island that's a little bit further out, and then you go to another island, and there are these beautiful like beach bars, or not really beach, like dock bars, where you can like swim, and there's obviously alcohol and like amazing music and like bubbles, and like, oh, it's such a cool fun party atmosphere. And people think of it's like debauchery and stuff, but like it actually is not. Like, my opinion is that it's pretty, at least my experience of it every time has been very wholesome, just like drinking and enjoying and dancing, so much dancing, and yeah, it's not real alcohol.
No, I didn't do, but yeah.
No. So the
Man,
boat was on a
you
Saturday
go
because
back.
we did Filthy Friday on the Friday. Yeah.
I missed it.
And then we didn't do
Andrea
it
has to go
again for
back.
some reason. Yeah.
I missed it.
You have to go
I
back.
know.
But so our
Andrea, biggest reason for you to go back. We found it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll put it in the list of the reasons why.
Wait,
we did it our very first Friday in 2022, and then in 2025 there was a carnival version on a Sunday. So we did it this Sunday with the entire chapter went, and then 3 of us, 2 of whom were on this call, went again. So like 5 days later on Friday. And it was so much fun.
We needed the actual Filthy Friday experience. While I appreciated going on a Sunday, and it was amazing, and the whole chapter was there, and my God, that was my favorite day. I was like, I have waited years because I didn't get to go my first 2 trips there. So I was like, I need this. I need an official Filthy Friday. And it did mean I got 2 shirts, 2 bags, like perks.
2 shirts.
Yeah. But yes, it is one of the more famous parties in like Latin America, but it actually is super fun, and it doesn't. It feels like wild without being too overwhelming. It actually is pretty wholesome fun because it's this day party, and you are swimming, and you're just hanging out in your suit, and so it feels kind of more manageable. It's just like dancing all day, and it's a great time, and definitely
it's pure fun. It's pure fun. It's so fun.
It is.
Like,
it's fun.
Yeah.
I love that it's during
So
the day
fun.
too, because you get to just hang out in the sun. You're dancing in the sun. You get to jump in the water anytime you want because it's an island hopping party.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. It was so good.
That's how we got people in. More people are willing to do a day party, so I feel like that really united the groups.
Yeah.
Everyone could be in bed by 10 if they wanted to.
And then if you stay into the evening, there are fun surprises.
Yes, you gotta last till the fire and the.
Until all the stuff at the end. Mm-hmm. As long as you want.
Okay, you don't have to be in bed by 10. I highly suggest staying out and continuing the party back on the main island. So that's like the biggest party, I would say. Definitely a really fun draw. You got to plan around it. Totally worth going. But I would say just generally, I love Bocas because there's a lot of fun places to hang out. Some super casual, really chill, just great places to like sit by the water and end your day. Some do dancing and stuff even during the week, so you can kind of get a little bit of everything. A lot of them have games. There's like darts, pool tables, ping pong. Like a lot of them are really just this laid back. You can go hit them up after work any given night of the week. And I found that we did do that quite often. And it's just a very easy, chill, I guess, environment for that. But
Andrea, do you remember picking me and Kelly up from that dive bar at like 3
Do I
p.m.?
remember it?
And Madison was
It's one of my favorite videos. We have like this video of this junkie bike with like me, Monet, and Kelly trying to get back home.
Oh my
The
god!
3 of
No, that
us
was
on
late.
one
That was
bike.
at night.
It
Yeah.
was like
Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god. But I think that night, we were maybe coming back from floating bar, which we haven't even talked about floating bar.
I was going
Which
to
is my
ask you,
favorite
because
experience in the entire
I don't
world.
know. I don't know if it's still there. So I was going to ask you, like, floating bar,
Oh.
is it still there or not?
it's
There's
multiplied.
even
There's
another one.
2. There's 2
I
floating
like
bars
the
now.
original. I like the original. The new one is fancy, and I don't know. I'm partial to the original, but it's still there.
Yes, thank God.
Just describe what floating bar is for someone.
You basically get there on a boat. You have to take.
Yeah, you take a boat taxi out
you have
to
to
it.
get one of a boat taxi, and it's in the middle of the water. You can jump in the water. Yeah.
Really nice little like lounging areas. Good to relax, decompress after a day of work. It's also really nice going kind of at sunset
Yeah,
because you see some incredible sunsets on the water.
true.
Yeah. Both
It's
are
the best.
great. Both are worth going to. They both have spots to jump off of. One of them, the new one does give you a welcome shot when you arrive, which gives it points. It's not of anything strong, but
We
but
love
it
a welcome
does.
shot.
We
Yeah.
do. We like the gesture. But it has very comfy couches or like lounge areas. And then the original one is so good. I don't think the new one is as good for swimming. In the original one, you can get a float and you
Yeah,
can jump in the water with your drink and you can like float all around. And I think sometimes they'll have like a floating table there.
yeah.
It depends on
Love that.
like what's not burst. But and you can just like drink in the water. It's so cool.
Yeah, I feel like the original one is more like laid back, a little rowdy, just like good fun. They're just very chill there. It's all about swimming in the water, jumping in, just like very casual. And then the newer one basically is like the fancier alternative. If you want to be like a little more sophisticated, maybe not go swimming, just get cute pics, like laying on the little nets or whatever by the water. So they're both good. But yes, both best at sunset or like late afternoon into sunset.
They close pretty early too, so they're like not made for evening.
I think we covered a lot of weekday stuff and we dipped into some weekend stuff, but let's shift over because there's definitely more weekend things I want to touch on. I would love to ask Andrea and Monet. I know you guys actually did a weekend trip where you stayed at that like bungalow over the water. I think it was Coco Vivo. Love to start with that and hear how that was.
Yeah, yeah. So we wanted to do an eco lodge stay, I think was the idea. So we found one that could take all of us. It was really cool. We had little rooms with like outdoor showers and I don't know, we went and they had like a glass bottomed kayaks for us to use and dolphins came and like swam really close to the dock during the day. So that was super cool. The place like prepared us these amazing meals, like these just huge amounts of like fruit and stuff. And yeah, we just got to like hang out together really and just enjoy the nature. It was a different part of the island or the archipelago, so we got to see something that was a little bit different. Again, it was very close to the dolphin area, and the glass bottom kayak was so cool. And we went and did a lot of swimming. We wanted to be all together, like right on the water, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say normally that's a big benefit of like a weekend trip is like getting everyone in the same accommodation. The photos looked incredible, and it was the first time I was like, shoot, I'm kind of jealous. I kind of maybe wish we did it because it looked incredible.
Yeah.
I loved how much you guys seemed to pack into that weekend. Like just the activities, the clear kayaks really got me, and I didn't even know about the dolphins. That's insane.
Yeah. It was just incredible.
I don't know if you mentioned this, but I just want to ask because I saw these insane photos of this gorgeous breakfast with like fresh fruit and like pancakes. Did you guys get a chef
Yeah.
the whole time? What was the food situation with it?
The Eco Lodge just did it for us. I think it was included in their package. I'm pretty sure they made us dinner and breakfast. They asked about like dietary requirements and stuff. Maybe we might have been there for 2 nights. So yeah, we paid for them to feed us the whole time.
Okay, makes sense.
It
I
was
feel like
really
you
good.
kind of have to do that, but yeah, it looked insanely good. If they know they're gonna have food made for them, I feel like that
Yeah.
bumps up a weekend trip. Okay,
Yeah.
that's your big weekend trip option if you want to get away and stay somewhere else. But both of my chapters, we never went anywhere. Actually, we stayed at our accommodation happily and just filled our weekends with big day trips, basically, and big activities. So yeah, I guess Steven, what were some of your favorite activities that you got up to on yours?
Yeah, I mean, the one of the tribe's saying is never not boat, and that's definitely
Holla.
going to be true on this chapter. It certainly was for us. I think we were on a boat every single weekend, which was fun. My go-to was like stop at one of the little convenience stores, grab a couple like really cold drinks, then hit the boat. There's always fresh. There was a lot of fresh fruit, which is one of my favorite things. Love some fresh pineapple. And I think we took a boat to, what was that kind of more remote? Was that Zapatia?
Zapatia.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was amazing. I think I remember there was this big spread of fruit that they put out for us. And then I'm pretty sure some people went and found like actual fresh coconuts as well. I don't know if you remember that, but
Probably. I feel like people always were finding fresh coconuts. Yeah.
But Zapatia are these like untouched islands that's just like white sand and beautiful blue water. And both my chapters, we have pictures of people posing on the same tree. It's so gorgeous. It's such a good weekend trip.
It
And
is
you
like
get to
unreal.
just traveling across the water is super cool too.
Yeah, the boat ride itself is almost the best part for me, and then you get there, and it's just the classic crystal blue, greenish. The hues of the water are just so unreal. You just can't believe what you're seeing, and you just get to hang out there for the afternoon and kind of like soak it all in. And yeah, I like fantasize about that fruit platter that they like cut. The people we had paid to get us there chopped up fresh fruit in front of us and laid it on these palm fronds, and it was just so beautiful, and it was so hot, and it was like cold fruit. It was the most refreshing thing. I just remember like eating it with such joy, and that was like really remarkable for me. It's probably my favorite part of that island day. But yeah, I would say that's a top tier one. Okay, so I was gonna say the other big boat day. You go basically all the way out to Starfish Beach, which is like you take obviously catamaran. It's the full like you're just like lounging on the boat the whole day. And it definitely is more about the journey than the destination for that one, which again, I prefer. But you do get to go to this beautiful, beautiful beach, see the starfish, ride on the
But they're big. They're big too.
giant.
God, I love that catamaran ride. It's so fun. You get like the whole day, and you have the little tables and stuff, and they stop so you can swim off the boat, and then they sail on the way back. Oh, I loved that. It was so beautiful. You get the sunset from the water.
Yeah, beautiful water, perfect day, like swimming, relaxing, dancing on the boat, going on the tube ride. Like usually, I guess we brought food of our own or we snacking, or sometimes they had like, I think one time I did like a barbecue on the boat and they
I
like
think
served us some food.
Fed us. I think we
Yeah.
Did
got
some grilling
rice
on the
and
boat, I think.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
we did some
meat
grilling.
and fruit.
Yeah. It's a classic day, but it's a crucial day. Like it's a real staple
Yeah.
for the chapter, definitely a highlight, and definitely
Yeah.
super gorgeous. So I think both of those are requirements and definitely my fave. But then, yes, there's lots of other explorations you can do. I know I actually weirdly have not gotten to do this, but did you guys do the Bat Cave? What's that exploration like?
So it's this local guy, I guess many, many years ago, was venturing around and found this system of caves. And he eventually made it into like a tourist attraction. So you come in and I think they give you a little bit of food and you put on like water shoes and like hard hats with lights and stuff, and you go into this cave, and yes, there are bats, but even cooler is just like the system of the caves. Depending on the water levels and the time of year and stuff, you can go like deeper or less deep. And it was reminding me a lot of the cave in Guatemala, actually. Minus the candles, but like there's a bit where you swim and you can have the option to jump off and jump into the water. And it's very, very adventurous, and you're just like seeing inside this like super deep cave system with this guide who's like local, indigenous, and it's a really cool experience. And then obviously, yes, there's like bats everywhere. I think I went in originally to get over my fear of bats. So
Well done. That's quite the conquering of fear there.
yeah.
That's on my
Andrea.
list of when I go back, basically, the thing I still have to conquer as well as the Bat Cave. So
Yeah.
I love leaving something to return for.
The Eagle Lodge was amazing. Even the electricity was it was just like a good way to disconnect completely from everything and just enjoying being in nature trip. And the catamaran or the boats in general is like you are in Bocas, so it's like the never not boat applies there better than anywhere else. So every kind of day trip on a boat and roaming around the islands was like fantastic.
Yeah.
It is the epitome of never not boat, though, and I believe this to my
Yeah.
core. So all the other people who haven't done Bocas, I'm like, you can't even say it until you've been to Bocas. Like that brings it
True.
to a new
Because of
meaning.
the
Like it's a new level.
taxis.
Yes,
You can go on a boat so easily every day, multiple times a day.
I think one of the coolest moments for me was that the last one I was hosting, and we were having our intro chat at the Waterhouse, which was like, and people showed up to the intro chat on boat. Like they pulled up, half my crew pulled up on a water taxi and slid up in front of our house and got off and arrived for the intro chat. And I was like, I'll never do something cooler than this. Like this is just so exciting that we were able to live right on the water and just go right from there.
So cool.
I guess depending when you go, but when we were there, it was hot. So just be prepared to be like in a very hot environment. Bring water with you all the time. I know like we have people like going for runs and I don't know how they could possibly do that, but it's like, it's very hot. You are in nature, so it's like just again expect to be surrounded by nature with the little inconveniences that come with it. So bugs here and there. It's like definitely bring like a mosquito repellent with you. Everything else is so awesome that definitely makes up for these things. And yeah, just be prepared to be in your flip flops and swim trunks and swimsuit all the time. That's the thing. And enjoy just the tropical like weather and environment.
Say usually like the most pristine, beautiful nature is hard to get to and remote. Like you think of like the most beautiful things you've seen are probably on these super remote hikes that you have to or
Yeah.
drive forever and there's no infrastructure. So Bocas is like the closest you can get to that and still have Wi-Fi. You know, like so there are these things there is like there's bugs and like there's sometimes the power outages and stuff, but you're so close to this like absolutely beautiful water, the rainforest, the monkeys. We didn't even talk about the monkeys, the dolphins. It's incredible tropical paradise. So you just have to be prepared for the fact that like you're in such a beautiful environment that it's gonna come with like not like the luxury of a city, you know, like you're
Yeah.
there to be in nature. And yeah, we didn't talk about ATVing either, but you can go into the forest, you can walk through ATVing is a really popular thing to do. I did it. And like you get to see like beautiful pools and just like the sound of the rainforest and monkeys, sloths, dolphins, the different birds. Like it's just incredible. Sorry, I keep using the same adjective. I really like it though.
That's the best word. The wildlife there is insane. There are sloths. You will see them. The monkey, dolphins are pretty easy, like almost like guaranteed you'll see them at some point, which is crazy. That it's kind of that simple to see such cool animals, basically. The cool frogs, too. I feel like those are awesome. The bats. The red frogs. There really are red frogs at Red Frog Beach. Iconic. In terms of like packing or things to prepare for, is actually a water bag, like one of those sealable ones. A lot of people bring those. I did on my first one and not on my second one. I kind of regretted it. It's not a need to have, but it's definitely a nice to have. They're just super helpful because you will be on a boat literally every single day. So to be able to have a convenient bag to bring with you on all those adventures, like, is kind of nice. Like that.
A bunch of bathing suits and solid sunscreen. You're gonna need it.
Yeah. Oh my God. If you go on the catamaran, wear goddamn sunscreen. She got
Yes.
the worst sunburn of her entire life, and I got a terrible thing that I had to get removed on my lip from the same freaking boat. Same boat day. Years apart.
Okay,
You
I
need
will
sunscreen
say
on the boat, including lips sunscreen.
definitely always lips. Big believer now. I will say also the reapplication is the issue for me. Is just that you're swimming all the time and people don't like you have to reapply every 80 minutes on a good day. In Bocas, when you're swimming, it should be like every 30 minutes. Like, especially if you're pale, like us, it is for real. The two worst sunburns of my life were both in Bocas. One of them was scary, like it was full sun poisoning. Some of that was me for sure, but also like it's clearly a danger and you have to be more prepared than normal, I think, in those situations. So lesson learned. My first chapter, I panicked and packed all of my sunscreen and then my bag was too heavy and it was a mess. You can just buy it there. So it's one of those things where I'm like, just prepare yourself when you arrive, but be ready for smoking hot sun. Yeah.
It's also one of my worst sunburns. Like, maybe worse than Australia.
God, of course. See, it doesn't sound real, but somehow it is. I think, yeah.
Catamaran and the water reflects the light and the catamaran
Yeah.
is white. And so just the whole day you're just getting fried and you're swimming.
Yeah,
I think I
100%.
bought a couple like sun shirts, and I wore them a lot there. I've also like since then just become a really big fan of those because it's nice to not have to like lather on sunscreen all the time. And those are
True.
100%. And they're way more effective. You can't mess up application if you're wearing a sun shirt. I'm a big believer now. And I bought, after my first burn that was really bad, I bought a couple sun shirts. I still have them. And a lot of my other boat day photos are me in full garb, like high neck, long sleeve shirt. Like, it looks ridiculous, but it is so much easier than reapplying every 30 minutes. So honestly, fall in love with that style. I highly recommend it. Why would you guys say Bocas is a good spot for the tribe? High level. Tricky one.
Think is a great place for the tribe, especially for the people that love a little bit more of an adventure. Because being so free and so like in nature is also like a way to bring people together because it gives you like so many opportunities to just do things together. So, one of the best way to bond is like experience life every day together. And Bocas really gives you that opportunity. And also like the little like the little inconveniences, it just rallies everyone to, to unite and find, okay, let's go to this like cafe because they have a generator. It's the little tiny trauma bonding experiences. They are part of what I think really makes people like come together and enjoy the time together. And the open spaces, the beach, like the floating bars is definitely something that as a group you want to do with a group. It's like there are experiences where you don't want to go by yourself. You just want to go with a group. And so it's like a very good environment to just spend a lot of time together as often as you can.
I would add to that and say that I love the lifestyle in Bocas, the like laid back, beachy one. I mean, there's tons of adventures, but just so much of it for me is just about that lifestyle and getting to live like that for a while. So it's a really, really good one for like bonding and making friends and like really having time to hang out because you have fewer distractions. On some chapters, people are running all over the city, which is great. And that's a great vibe too. But this is definitely a more like we're all in this together and we feel like a more cohesive unit. When Joe and I met in Scotland in 2022, probably bonded really early over our shared love of Bocas. And then I remember very vividly when you texted me to tell me that you were hosting it. It was maybe in like November of 2024 or something, but I was like at the gym in Toronto and it was cold and I was like in this locker room and I was like screaming in the locker room because I was so excited
Let's go!
to get to go with my friends. It's such a perfect place to go and just get to have so much fun with like your favorite people. It's like it's the perfect place for that. And honestly, I've always said like if I was to ever get married, I would maybe just make my wedding Filthy Friday.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Please.
It's already done for you. That's everything you could want.
It's the perfect party.
Oh my God. You're right. It's like my first Filthy Friday is going to be your wedding. Wow. Let's go. I mean.
No, this is great. I love this. And I do think it has such an intimate vibe. It is very different than some city chapters. It is a really good blend of like beach, calmness, bonding, and so many activities. And you're right. It's like not a place where you want to go to alone. It is definitely best done with the tribe. Genuinely, I think you'll just have the best time and the deepest connections, which is what we're usually looking for from a chapter.
I think Andre used the word earlier, like disconnect, and to reiterate, Filthy Friday is super fun with the group, and almost all the other beach activities are as well. Like any boating activities, swim up bars, everything. It's great with the tribe.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the photos, it like calms you. Like there's something so like intense in a good way about living on the water and just being in nature, I think too, that's like really profound, I think. So I think most people probably need it. Just quickly, do you think it'd be good for first-time tribers?
Yeah, it was my third chapter. Or fourth chapter, so it was pretty early on, and lots of first timers. It's a great one because it's right in the right time zone if you're North American, and yeah, it gives you a really good experience of Wi-Fi Tribe. Like, it's a destination we know well. It's one with tons of recommendations. Has some of the best parts of Wi-Fi Tribe.
I can say, like, as I said at the beginning, is like I'm part of the furniture now in Wi-Fi Tribe. So it's like I've seen like the tribe literally from the beginning to now evolving like over time. And I feel like Bocas is one I would recommend it to anyone that wants really to leave the essence of why Wi-Fi Tribe was created. Because even after so many years and like things change and there's like, a lot of things are like easier, more curated, much better. Bocas always gives me like a little bit that vibe of a tiny bit of roughness, which is what makes chapters better, in my opinion. So I really, really recommend it to people that love nature, they love easygoing life, they like activities, they like to be with people, be in the water all the time. They don't mind the little things that might happen. They are just happy to go beyond those little inconveniences for the greater experience that like Bocas as a chapter can give you. So for first timers, if you are that kind of like personality soul that loves a little bit of adventure, it's the perfect. It gives you like really like a good imprint of what Wi-Fi Tribe is all about, in my opinion.
Love that. You're getting me hyped for it. That's a great description. And I think that's good because it speaks so much to who really would love the chapter way. And it was my very first chapter as well. So I didn't even think it was even that rough. Honestly, I just was so happy. I loved it. And it's still like you have all the modern conveniences. So yeah, it doesn't have like the infrastructure of like a big city, but you just feel so comfortable. Like you have everything you need. Life is just so simple there. So it feels like so relaxing. But yeah, I guess for some people that would also be a little more of a change.
It's different from like a city chapter, or it's like,
Yes.
I love to explain it this way because it sets the expectations, I think, in my opinion, correctly, so that some people will definitely love it and rave about it, and it won't disappoint like some other people. I just feel like it's fair to like explain like a little bit like what you're finding. And for many people, that kind of like setup and location is gonna give them like the best experience ever. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. One final challenging question for the road. I'm going to ask you to each give me one word to describe the Bocas chapter. And if you go first, you get to steal the word.
Okay, so I'm happy to go first. I say wild.
Should have gone first.
Wild because it's like you can still find some wild nature. It's wild because the activities like the nights out can get very wild. Wild because it's like you're really free to live like as you want. It's like free from any restriction and like just be yourself in nature and enjoy your time there. So yeah,
I was gonna use the word tranquilo, which sounds a little bit opposite
Interesting.
of wild, but I think Bocas does have both of those things. It has like a nice, calm, relaxed kind of. It's a Latin island. It's very far from a lot of different things, and so it's an easy place to disconnect and also relax when you want to.
Yeah, my word was free. When I think of Bocas, I think of like being on my little bike and biking along with the water on one side and the jungle on the other. And you're in like bare feet or flip-flops in your bathing suit, and maybe you have shorts on, and like the sun's streaming down, and it's a feeling of absolute freedom. It's amazing. That's the memory I always go back to. So I will say free because Andreas stole mine.
it's lovely though how like all of like three of us gave very different, and as you said, Stephen, like your is sounds like the opposite of mine, but they're all true for Bocas. You can literally find what you want and like make it the experience that you want. So I equally all apply the same way to Bocas, which is one of the reasons why I feel like Bocas is a very special place.
I agree. It is so special, and it does have a lot going on, and I think that's why it's such an interesting place to try to describe as well. The first word that came to mind for me was just water, just because that's what I love about it, is just like, it's all about water. And then the second word was paradise, which I know sounds lame, which is why I wouldn't have gone with it, but that's what it feels like for me when I'm there. It's like what you're saying, Monet. It's the lifestyle. It just feels like all of those things, really. It just feels calm and happy and very blissful. And it's so stunning and so friendly and warm there. When I picture paradise, I picture Bocas, even though I've seen many other beautiful places as well. But there's something more idyllic, I guess, about my experience there. So, yay. Thank you. Those are really good answers. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
It was so good to see you guys. I hope I'll see you again soon.
In Bocas.
Oh,
Yeah.
Any